2 outs, 1 in here for the Saints in their half of the first inning. Grant Martin to bat for AQ. They're on top 1-0, recashing real quickly. A leadoff single by Ramsey Bousseau. He stole second base, stayed there on a fly out by Weinert, scored on a single by Dylan Wynn. Now there's a line shot down the left field line. That's a fair ball. Gets by the left fielder. That's going to score 2. It will be a double for Martin with 2 outs and getting an extra 2 there for AQ. All right, here comes the first pitch. Catches the inside corner for a called strike. 3-0 as our score. I kind of think I left off after the Dylan Wynn single. He stole second base, stayed there on an error by the shortstop. Casey Shattuck foul flied out to the catcher, and then Martin with that double down the left field line scoring 2, and that's where you're at. We're all caught up. I'll recap the first half of the top of the first inning here after this pitch. Looks to second. Here comes the offering. Fouls it back into the netting. In the first inning, Allos grounded out to the second baseman, and then Granitstein lined out to the second baseman with Stevenson lining out to the shortstop. They went out 1-2-3 in the Wolverines' half of the first inning. That's where we're at. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bottom of the first inning. Thanks for joining us here in the AQ net. Ground ball hard to second. Gets through the second baseman for a base hit. They're going to send the runner, and instead they throw to second. It'll be a 2-out RBI single for La Crosse. Another run across the plate. Following the steal of second, that's a hit batter. The number 9 batter in the lineup here for the Saints. They batted around here in the first inning. They're on top 4-0 as JT LeMange, the left-hander, waits for the offering coming up here. Cronin gets the sign. Here's the pitch. Catches the outside corner. That'll even the count at 1-1. Apologize for the delay in getting on. This has been a crazy morning. Originally scheduled for 1 o'clock, then it was moved to 1:30, then 1:45. Just a lot of chaotic, plus the weather. Fastball off the plate, that'll bring it to 2-1. Ramsey Bousseau is on deck. He started this inning. Cronin gets the sign from Schwab. Here comes the offering. Swing and a miss, foul tipped into the mid of Schwab for strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Runners at first and second, 2 out here for AQ in their half of the first inning. 4-0 here on this Good Friday doubleheader. Looks for the sign, here it comes. Strike call. He stood there like a house by the side of the road and watched it go by. But the Saints pick up 4, and at the end of 1, 4-zip AQ. Keep it here on the AQ Network. Welcome back, my friends. Joey Sutherland with you here on the AQ Network. We go to the second inning, and the first of 2 here in this Good Friday twin bill. Saints on top 4-zip as we go to the second. Looks like we lost the scoreboard as the first pitch catches the outside corner for a strike. Oh, now it's getting turned back on, it appears. The 0-1 pitch, fastball up and away. Neldberg, the third baseman and cleanup hitter for the Wolverines today, waits on the 1-1 offering. Catches the inside corner. That'll bring the count to 1 ball, 2 strikes. Working quickly is Moore on the mound. Here's the pitch. Hot shot to first. Picked up, taking care of it himself is Weinert. That'll be 3-U if you're keeping score at home. 1 up, 1 down in the bottom half of the second inning. Excuse me, the top half of the second inning. Don't want to rush this game. That'll bring up the shortstop, Gavin Hampton. Hampton, the right-handed hitter. Waits for the sign. Pops it up back this way, out of play for a strike. Aaron Moore has been very efficient here through the first inning and the third. Looks at his catcher, Shattuck, gets the sign. Here's the 0-1 offering. Swing and a miss, pulled the string on that one, and Hampton said, do-do-do. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pops it up high into this dark sky, making a long run for it is Scherer, but it's going to get back. The wind helped that one. That's going to go probably about 7 feet out of play, foul ball. That'll keep the count 1-2. If you suffer from epileptic seizures, do not look at the scoreboard right now. The flashing lights will do damage to you. Next pitch called, strike 3. He stood there like the house by the side of the road. Watch that one go by. 2 up, 2 down for the Wolverines in their half of 2. That's going to leave it up to Schwab. Bryce is the catcher here today for U of M Dearborn. The right-handed hitter digs in. Slightly open stance. Waits for the first pitch. Curveball brought back in, called strike. Next pitch. There's a rope. That's going to get caught. Oh, nice play there by Busso. I had already called it a base hit. Wrote it into my book, and of course it's in pen, so now I got to scratch it out. My scorebook looks all crazy, but that'll do it for the Wolverines and their half of the second. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. 1.5 in the books. We'll be back. Keep it here on the AQ Network. Back here for the bottom half of the second inning. Joey Sutherland with you. Thank you for joining us. It'll be the top of the order here for Aquinas. Busso, he singled sharply to center his first time up. Waits. This time he pops it up high into the sky. Calling for it is Smith. Fades a little bit, but puts it away for out number one. Digging in, waiting now is Weinert. Swings and misses the lefty. He was swinging out of his shoes on that one. The wind is blowing from right field to left field here. It is by far the warmest game we've played at home today for Aquinas. Every other game has been somewhere between absolute 0 and 32 degrees. Now waiting on the 1-1 offering. Here it comes. Fastball in the dirt. That'll bring the count to 2-1. Steps out briefly, now back in. Weinert waits for the next offering from Cronin. Here it comes. Another slider inside. That'll bring the count to 3-1. Weinert flied out to the left fielder his first time up. One of the hottest hitters, though, currently for the Saints. Waits on the 3-1 pitch. Blasts one down the line. It's fair. Just inside first base. That'll be extra bases. The right fielder, Dean, goes for it. Fires it in, but it'll be a double as the ball gets away from the shortstop, but unable to advance. So a leadoff double, or excuse me, a one-out double. One on, one out. That runner's at second base. It's Weinert with a one-out double. Nice stop there by Schwab, the backstop for U of M Dearborn. He keeps that one from allowing Weinert to advance to third. Saints on top 4-zip here in the bottom of 2. The next offering. There's a rope into left field. It is a fair ball. It drops just in front of the left fielder. He made a spectacular effort on that one. Runners at first and second. That brings up the cleanup hitter, Chase Robinson, the right fielder. First pitch, curveball catches the outside corner. Strike one. Weinert at third base, Wynn at second. That last play was ruled a single. He advanced to second on the throw to third. He did not get a double, but I'm not giving an error to Alice, the left fielder. That'll be a swing and a miss for strike two. So Robinson in the hole behind 0-2. He reached on an error by the shortstop his first time up. This time he's got ducks in the pond and only one out. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Nice save once again by Schwab. Schwab is already getting his workout today. He's done a spectacular job of keeping that ball in front of him. Cronin digs in for the sign. Gets it. Robinson waits. Here's the 0-2 offering. Just missed by an eyelash. That'll bring the count to 1-2. Cronin is saying, come on, help me out already. He doesn't get the call, but ahead in the count 1-2. Here's the next offering. Curveball, that was a little further off. That one I didn't think. The last one was borderline. That one was for sure out. That'll even the count at 2-2. So Robinson digs back in. Schwab flashes the sign. The runners with a modest lead. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Pops it up. Back this way. The catcher comes for it. He's got a beat on it, and he makes a fine catch for out number 2. If you wonder why I cut out all the time, I'm not allowed, as this is on YouTube, to have any of the walk-up music play. So I have to clip the mic every time the walk-up music plays. There's a ground ball to short. This could get him out of the inning. Hampton has it. Fires to first, gets him by a couple steps, and down go the Saints. They threaten but are unable to score. We've played 2, 4-zip. AQ on top. Here we go to the third inning. 4-zip AQ on top. First batter, number 7 in the batting order. Ground ball to short. Nice play by Bousseau. Good stretch by Weinert. They get him out by about a half a step. 1 up, 1 down here in the third. That's going to bring up Lance Smith, the second sacker. Digs in, shows bunt, pulls it back, takes a ball up and away for ball 1. The press box continues to work on trying to fix the scoreboard. Little looper into center field, but right there is Lacrosse for the putout, out number 2. 2 up quickly, 2 down quickly. That's going to leave it up to the number 9 hitter, Alex Schmidt, the center fielder. The right-hander with a very minor open stance. Takes a fastball on the outside corner for a called strike. Next pitch quickly. Ground ball to short once again. A 2-hopper. Bousseau fires it high and out of there. That's going to be an E6 throwing and advancing to second on the play. So the first base runner is compliments of an error by the shortstop, Bousseau. We're going to go to the top of the order. Tyler Alice. Alice grounded out to second base his first time up. Now he's got a runner in scoring position with 2 outs. Here's the first pitch. Fastball just up and away, ball 1. Boy, this is a late arriving crowd after the thunderstorm kind of blew over. Now, obviously, the visiting fans will show up, but now we're starting to get some of the local AQ faithful as well. Probably about 100 folks here now. Batter asks for time. He is granted it. Steps out, adjusts his gloves, fixes his helmet. He's got a very open stance. Here comes the pitch. Curveball, just missed. Ooh, that was a nasty curveball, but apparently just inside. Kind of hooked around the plate. That'll bring the count to 2-0. Danson Ansley at second base is Schmidt. Itching to move. Here's the 2-0. Blast down the right field line. It's carrying well. It's going to get out of play. That was probably about a 200, 250 down the right field line, but definitely foul ball. That'll bring the count to 2-1. That wind has not changed. It is still blowing from right field to left field, pole to pole. 2 balls and a strike. Here comes the next pitch from Moore. Instead, he goes to second. A quick tag thrown down by Bousseau, but getting back is Schmidt. A good spin play there, but a heads-up base running by Schmidt. He's able to get back. 2 balls, 1 strike for the hitter, Alice. He digs in, waits for the next offering for Moore. Here it comes. Curveball. Ooh, just misses. Now officially both pitchers are feeling a little squeezed as the count's now 3-1. Next pitch, pops it up in the air, foul ball. The catcher and the first baseman, but it's actually the pitcher who makes the catch. Oh, man, I'm telling you, the catcher and the first baseman are going to get a grief for that one. You never let the pitcher make the putout, but he does, and down go the Wolverines. To the bottom half of the third we go. 4-zip, AQ on top. Grant Martin leads off. Swings and misses. Pulling the string on that one is Cronin. That was a decent pitch there. Really caught Martin ahead and looking gas, I think, and was fooled. Behind in the count, 0-1. Here comes the next pitch. Curveball in the hole into left field. Didn't hit it hard, but he got it between the shortstop and the third baseman for a leadoff knock for the Saints. That's going to bring up Luke Lacrosse, who singled and got a ribby his first time up. Martin now 2 for 2 with a single and a double. Digs in, waits on the first pitch. Here it comes, shows bunt. Puts it down. That's a fine bunt. Catcher picks it up, only has one play, and he beats it out. So instead of a sacrifice, it's going to be an infield single on the bunt, and now the Saints have runners at first and second with nobody out. First and second, nobody out. Now it's going to be Dawson Scherer. He was hit his first time up, probably going to be bunting. Here's the pitch. It is a bunt. Pops it up. The pitcher makes a dive for it because he missed it. It's going to be another infield hit for the Saints. That was a do-or-die dive for Cronin. I respect his effort, but unfortunately for the Wolverines, that's going to lead to back-to-back bunt singles. Bases loaded, nobody out. It's going to be the number 9 hitter, JT LeMange. He struck out Taken his first time up. Now he has the sacks full and nobody down. First pitch. Fastball catches the outside corner for a called strike. Martin at third, Lacrosse at second. Scherer is at first base. 2 of the 3 on a bunt singles. Both were sacrifice attempts. Breaking ball, a slider just off the plate. That'll bring the count to 1-1. Bottom of the third inning, AQ on top, 4-zip, looking to blow this one open. Here comes the next offering, right back up the middle. Oh my goodness, that one hit Cronin hard. He is shaken up. Everybody's going to go one base. Now the training crew is going to head out there along with the U of M coach. That was not pretty, folks. We hope he's okay. That was an absolute missile. 104 was off the bat, and you know that didn't feel good. We'll be right back. Keep it here on the AQ Network. All right, the good news is you can see Cronin is staying in the game, so he appears to be okay. Took a few tune-up tosses, looked good. First pitch, a little bit off the mark for ball. That is a tough kid on the mound there for the Wolverines. Saints push one across on that infield single. 3 straight infield singles by Aquinas as Busso swings and misses to bring the count to 1-1. Saints with 5 runs on 10 hits. With the bases as low as they get for the leadoff hitter and highest batting average. Grounds one, just foul. Oh, look at the play by the third base coach there for the Saints. Looked like he was 20 years younger moving on that one. But he would tell me he's only 24, so that's a... One ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Fouls that one down the first base line into the parking area. He'll get a new pill tossed into him. Joey Sutherland with you here, the Director of Athletic Communications for Aquinas College. Thank you for joining us here on the AQ Saints YouTube network. Bottom of the third, swing and a miss. Oh, that was the nastiest pitch we've seen him throw today for out number 1. Now the base is loaded with 1 out. That's going to bring up the first baseman, Weinert. He fouls this one down the third baseline, out of play. Flied out to left field his first time up, doubled in his last appearance, 1 for 2 on the day. He's got a great opportunity here with the sacks full and only 1 out. Cronin gets the sign from Schwab. Here comes the pitch. Little nubbler into the dirt, and it's now putting Cronin ahead in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. After he took an absolute missile somewhere in his midsection area, he has come back to throw a couple of really good pitches. Now ahead in the count, just off the plate. Peers into the catcher, gets the sign. Weinert waits. Here's the pitch. Another little nubbler. Oh, he fooled him once again. And Weinert happy to be alive as he just gets a piece of that one. That was another filthy, I'm not sure if it's a curve or a slider, but that was wicked. Now Weinert gets back in the box and waits for the next offering from Cronin. Here it comes. Pops another one foul. So it's like deja vu all over again as another new baseball is given to Cronin. Here comes the next offering to Weinert. Little looper, guess where? Foul once again. This is becoming an epic battle. Not quite remnants of the Dave Bergman 3-run homer back in 1984, but equally as entertaining here. Here comes the next pitch. There's a rope into right field for a base hit. 1 runs in. They're going to hold him up and play slow pitch softball, 1 base at a time. Saints now make it 6-0. First pitch called strike. Wynn, who is 2 for 2, scored a run, knocked 1 in, and has a stolen base. As we're only in the 3rd inning, this is his 3rd at bat. Fastball off the mark, that'll leave the count at 1-1. Now we got Scherer is down at 3rd base. At 2nd base, it's LeMange, and Weinert is over at 1st. As continuing to work hard, here's Cronin. Next pitch, curveball. Oh, he pulled the string on that one, and way out in front of it was Wynn. Now behind in the count, 1-2. Wynn steps out. Now digs back in. Waits on the 1-2 offering. Here it comes. There's a little liner into right field, and the right fielder is Dean, makes the catch, but that will be a sac fly. L9, sac fly, RBI, out number 2. That's going to leave it up to Robinson, the cleanup hitter. Takes a breaking ball, catches the inside corner for a called strike. Now it's runners at first and second with 2 outs. 3 runs pushed in, though. Saints now on top 7-zip here in the bottom of 3. As Robinson, who foul flied out to the catcher and reached on an error back in the first. Takes a fastball, this one just a tick low. That'll leave the count at 1-1. Glares in, gets the sign to Cronin. Here comes the pitch. Hot shot through for a base hit. They're going to keep him right here, and the bases will once again be loaded for Aquinas. Once again, the bases are loaded. This time now it's going to be for the catcher, Shattuck. Shattuck is also 0 for 2 today. But he ropes one into left center. This one's a plethora of trouble. That might clear the bases. Rounding second, he's going to hold up with a stand-up double, but that will clear the bases. And the Saints, with a big blow, have blown this one open. They're now on top 10-zip in the bottom of the third. All right, new pitcher on the hill now. It is going to be Egged is now on the mound here for the Wolverines. His first batter will be Grant Martin with a runner at second, 2 outs. Pops it up. This one could get him out of trouble. In foul territory, having a problem with it, but making a fine catch is for the third out. So it took him 1 pitch to get the third out. We have played 3. It's 10-zip AQ. Keep it here on the AQ Network. Top of the fourth is our inning. Our score now is 10-zip. AQ on top big. As back on the hill is Moore. Aaron Moore has pitched 3 shutout innings so far, as he will be facing 2, 3, and 4 in the U of M Dearborn lineup. There's a fly ball to left field. Wynn's helping it a little, waiting for it is Wynn, and he's able to corral it for out number 1 in the bottom or the top of the fourth. Granitstein flies out to medium depth left field for out number 1. That's going to bring up Stevenson, the DH. He lined out sharply to the shortstop his first time up. First pitch catches the inside corner for a called strike. WAC Conference baseball going on here right now on Good Friday. Thank you for joining us, as the next pitch is just off the plate, even the count at 1-1. Now the Saints, for those of you keeping track of Aquinas baseball, tomorrow's games with Defiance, a doubleheader scheduled, as that one's going to be fouled out of play. Great hustle there by Weinert. The doubleheader with Defiance was scheduled to be played in Ohio, but due to poor weather conditions for Defiance tomorrow, they've moved that game here to this exact field with a 3:30 first game. I don't know how they're going to get 2 games in. WAC conference game 7-9. 7 innings for the first game, 9 for the second. They're definitely going to be playing under the lights going into Easter. There's a hot shot to third. Nice play by Scherer. Steps, throws, gets him by a few steps. 2 up, 2 down. That's going to leave it up to the third sacker, Beck Nelberg. He grounded out to the first baseman unassisted in his first at bat. The left-handed batter with a lot of pop here waits for the first offering from Moore. That's a heater off the plate, ball 1. Wasting no time, gets the pill. Here's the pitch. Curveball, that's deep to left field, but Wynn misplays it. And they're going to send him for, nope, they're going to hold him at 2. Boy, I would not want to have to be the official scorer to decide what that is. Oh, wait, I am the official scorer, and I do have to decide what that is. And I'm going to rule that one a double. We will give him a double. I disagree with you, and since I'm an official scorer for the Whitecaps besides here, I'm going to trust my call. I could change it if the run scores. We'll think about it. 2-out double, though, for now. Swing and a miss. The wind is an absolute bear today, as we have seen that. That breaks up the no-hitter, though. That's also the problem. Now I got to think about it even more. Two down, runner at second here for the Wolverines. Fastball up and in. Here comes the next pitch from Moore. Inside corner called strike. That'll leave the count at 2-2, I believe. Hamp gets right back in, waits. Here comes the pitch. Strike 3 call. Took one too many. He's down on strikes. They get one, but they strand him. Bottom half of the fourth inning here. Saints set to bat. Egged in his second inning of action. He relieved late in the third. He'll be facing Lacrosse, Scherer, and LeMange, 7, 8, and 9 in the AQ lineup. Another one just off the plate. I had to go back and looked at multiple replays as that one is fly deep into right center. Way back, but a spectacular long running catch by Schmidt. He just flat out ran that one down into triples right center, robbing Lacrosse of what would have been at least a triple. First pitch just missed. Ooh. Thought that was a strike. Scherer got a break. He has been hit, singled, and scored his last time up. Steps out. Now gets back in the box. Waits for the next offering from Egged. Here it comes. Ropes that one down the third base line. It's going to go foul. And 3 hops. It hits the fence. One of the bullpen members will go after it for Aquinas. Here comes the next offering. Back up the middle, and even Schmidt can't run this one down. That'll drop in for a base hit. 1-out hit for Scherer. Swing and a miss for a strike. Took a little bit off of that one. LeMange gets out in front of it, behind in the count. He has struck out looking, singled, knocked in a run, and scored back in the third. Quick throw to first. Getting back in time is Scherer. The left-handed LeMange waits for the next offer from Egged. Here it comes. Rope down the right field line, but hooking. Foul. And now we'll be behind in the count, 1-2. Bottom half of the fourth inning. Egg looks over to first. Now gets the sign. Here it comes. Pops that one up. That is a major league pop-up. The shortstop, though, calls for it. Hampton, had to make a circus catch there as that one tailed away from him. All right, we got a pinch hitter coming into the game here for the Saints. It is going to be Blake Bennett batting now for Bousseau. He'll probably go in to play shortstop as well. In a 10-zip game, you're trying to get a few of the guys some opportunities to get in here. And remember, we have another game to play after this, a 9-inning game. Takes just a tick high. That's Egged on the mound. Scherer over at first base. And now Bennett waits for the next offering. Another nice pick there by Schwab. Two balls and a strike. That one will catch the outside corner. Now Egg looks for the next pitch, gets the sign. Bennett waits. Fastball up. That will be ball 4. So it is a 2-out. Here comes the next pitch. Takes for a called ball. Mitchell now in to hit for Weinert. Here comes the pitch. He held his ground just inside. No, I thought it was going to say, yeah. Here comes the next offering to the pinch hitter, Mitchell. That one hit him, and that's going to put the bases full with 2 outs. Another pinch hitter here for Aquinas. John Pop will now bat for Wynn. First pitch catches the corner for a strike. Egged on the mound. The sacks are full of Saints. AQ already on top in this one, 10-zip. First to 2 here. Bottom of the 4th inning. Here's the pitch. There's a line shot into right field for a base hit. That will score 1 for sure. The throw to home not in time. It's a 2-out, 2-run single. Pop gets a pair of ribeyes, and the Saints are now up a dozen. We're here for the Saints. Now it is going to be Eric Bryce into the game. He takes one in the dirt. He'll be hitting for Robinson. Now it's where it gets fun for me as the scorer, not as the play-by-play, is figuring out where all these guys are going to go to play position-wise. Because I'm pretty sure they're not going directly for the person they hit for. So 1-0 count. Runners at first and second, 2 down still. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Here comes the next offering. Pops it up back this way, out of play. Now behind in the count is Bryce. The right-hander steps back into the batter's box with Mitchell at second, Pop over at first base. Here comes the pitch from Egg. And a changeup, he lost the grip. It hits him, he was ahead 0-2. Now it's Schmuckel's turn to pitch hit for Shattuck here. First pitch catches the inside corner for a strike. Waits on the next offering from Egg. The sacks are full, 2 outs. All this rally started with 2 outs. Off the plate for a ball. Waits for the next pitch. Here it comes. Ball 2. Schmuckel gets back in, the left-hander. Waits for the pitch from the right-hander, Egged. Here comes the 2-1 offering. Make it 3-1. And it appears the Saints might have batted around for the second straight inning. And he walks him on 5 pitches. Now it is Mueller's turn to bat. He will be pinch hitting for Martin. Sacks are loaded once again, 2 outs. Saints now up 13-zip here. Second straight inning of batting around. There's a hot shot up the middle through for a base hit. One's in for sure. They're going to play slow pitch softball, 1 base at a time here. For us, Pop, John Pop. 14. Yep. And 27 is now batting. All right. Changes aplenty still happening all over the place. Now we have a new pitcher, a new batter. I think we have a new umpire, too. No, that's just a kidding, but the first pitch is called a strike. Graves is now going to be batting, and on the hill it'll be Little. What was that? Lost the grip. I don't know that I've ever seen that. And 54 years involved with baseball, that was a first for me. I've seen the bat be slipped and hit I've seen a third baseman take it, a pitcher take it, a first baseman take it. I've never seen the home plate umpire get by him. As the next pitch is off the mark, ball 3. Graves waits for the next pitch in the dirt. 3-0 is the count now, or 3-1. Scoreboard's still not working, making things a little bit challenging. Ball 4. That's a ribeye. Fastball inside. As now it is Monroe's turn to pinch hit. Next pitch, that's a blast. Left field way back. It's got a shot, it could be off the wall. That's going to clear. Nope, they're going to hold him up with a long double. But man, oh man, Monroe just missed a grand salami on that one by about 5 feet. First pitch is a called strike. And let's see who's in now. It's got to be somebody else. And that is correct. Now it will be Deller getting a chance. He's going to pinch hit for LeMange. Fouls it away. Little gets the sign. Monroe at second, Graves at third. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. And down he goes. 3-pitch strikeout. And the Saints are retired in the 4th. All right, folks, we finally have all those changes. Coach LeMange came over, talked me through it, and the only not straight change, believe it or not, is Pop will be at first base with Mitchell going out to left field. So that's the only not change. There's a blast. That's deep, way back. That'll get up the gap, and that'll be a double, and that will end all concerns about the previous double. Now it's all said and done. To be to left center. And that's going to bring up Lane Smith, who flied out to center his first time up. Runner at second, only one down. First pitch. Curveball, that was wicked for a called strike. We are still in the top of the first inning. No, I'm just kidding. It feels like it, though. I was going to say, and then I look, and it's not nearly as bad as I thought. I was going to say we've already played for like 2+ hours, but that's really not the case. We're only at an hour and a half. Stepping off the mound is Moore. Schmuckel behind the plate now. We'll give him the signs. Smith waits. Decent lead for Dean at second base. Here's the pitch. Another wicked curveball that breaks back in, catches the inside corner, and that'll put the count at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Only one out. Runner at second. Fastball up and away. Now a hitter's count here for Smith. Moore gets the sign. Here's the payoff pitch. Oh no, I guess it was 2-2. I beg your pardon. Now it's full count. My apologies. Until they get that scorebook, on top of everything else I do, I got to try to keep the count as well, which I apologize. I'm pretty good. Not that good. Time is called. That is a pitch clock violation, which will result in a walk. And now 2 runners on for the first time today for the Wolverines, with the number 9 man in the batting order, Alex Schmidt, coming up. Here comes the first pitch. Breaking ball, catches the inside corner. The Saints in double play depth with Smith at second. I beg your pardon, Dean at second, Smith at first. Only one out. Another curveball, another strike. Last inning of work here, I'm pretty sure, for Moore. They wanted him to go 5 innings, and his pitch count's got to be very reasonable. Here comes the 0-2 offering to Schmidt. Ground ball back off the pitcher. That could be trouble. The second baseman has it. Throws. He beats it out. No! They call him out. Oh, I thought he was there. So that's going to be scored 1-4-3 with both runners moving up. So 2 outs. It'll go to the top of the order. But the Ducks are in their pond. Runners at second and third now for Alice. First pitch, right down the middle, a fastball. That might be the first pitch fastball we've seen him throw today. Alice waits for the 0-1 offering. Nice block there by Schmuckel. Stopped the first run from coming home. You can see he is... Dean over at third base, he is tapping around there like he is on a hot plate. 1-1 pitch coming up here for Alos. Fouls it back this way, hits the netting. And it's going to get stuck up there. But now it's brought down. So now 1 pitch away is more from getting out of it. Heading the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Allos waits. Here comes the pitch. Slider low and away. That'll leave in the count 2-2. Joey Sutherland with you here on the AQ Saints YouTube network. Thanks for joining us here this afternoon. There's a rope into left field. On his run is Mitchell. It gets by him. That's going to get all the way to the wall. That'll score 2. That should be, are they going to send him? They are. Oh, that could be a mistake. The throw to third. He's in there. A 3-base hit there for the leadoff hitter, Allos. Looks like we got a pinch hitter now. It's going to be number 7 coming into the batting order, which is Torres. Takes the first pitch inside for a ball. Pops 1 foul out of play. It is crazy today. We now have had, there's a ball off the plate. There has been 19 runs scored total between the two teams, but of the 19, 16 of them have come with 2 outs. That is very unusual. Oh, fastball up and in, that hit him. So now there's runners at the corners with 2 outs. And that's going to bring up Stevenson, the DH. There is action in the bullpen, but I know Aquinas was hoping to get more through this inning. 2 outs here, top of the 5th inning. 2 in already for the Wolverines. That's a breaking ball that hooks back in, catches the inside corner. Waiting for the next pitch. Pops it up into center field. Graves calls for it, waits for it, and puts it away. But the Wolverines get on the board with a couple of runs scoring on the 2-out triple from Alice. We go to the Saints half of the fifth inning. They're on top. As batting now, leading off will be Bennett, the shortstop. This will be his second at bat. He walked his first time up back in the fourth inning. Here comes the 0-1 offering. Strike two. I am pretty sure that the home plate umpire said the score is 17-2. If it's close, I'm calling it a strike. Here comes the next pitch. Swing and a miss. Down he goes. Strike three. One down for Mitchell. Mitchell was hit his first time up. Takes a bender over the plate for a strike. The score of the game right now is 17-2 here in the bottom half of the fifth inning. Game one. Next offering. Swing and a miss. Throwing strikes is Little here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Little, the third pitcher in the game here today for the visitors. Hot shot to short. Hampton has it, throws it to first. Got him by a step. 2 up, 2 down. That's going to leave it up to Pop. Pop in his only at bat had a single, scoring 2, and there's another wicked single back up the box. We've seen too many of those already today. With the 2-out single from Pop, who's over at second base, that's going to bring up Bryce. Bryce, his first time up, was also hit by a pitch. Little on the mound. Has had pretty good command. Here's the pitch. That's a strike. Did he go? No, throw down to first. Back just in time. They didn't appeal yet on it. I'm waiting to see. Now they are, and they're going to say no. That was the long one, and a very well executed by the two officials. Give credit where credit is due on that one. Here comes the next offering to Bryce. Hot shot. Past the short. Nice play. Quick throw in the dirt. I think he pulled his foot. He did, but that was a spectacular play. That's going to bring up the catcher now for the Saints, and Schmuckel. His first time up, he walked and had a ribeye. This time he fouls it down the third base line. That looks like it's going to get out of play, and it's just past the dugout for the UM-Dearborn squad. So a loud strike as Schmuckel digs back in the left-hander. Waits the right-handed pitch coming up here from Little. Wind's starting to pick up again. Here it comes. There's a rope, but right at the second baseman who has a hard time with it, and he's got no play. Oh, that took a wicked hop on it. So here's a shocker. With 2 outs, there's activity going on once again. The majority of the runs, as I said, have come, and that's a very wild pitch, but they're not going to send him on that one. Good job getting back there by Schwab. I think that's more of the, I don't know what you want to call it. It's some of the unwritten baseball rules. You don't take liberties in a 17-2 game. And oh my goodness gracious, great balls of fire. We have a scoreboard again. I'll have to get him caught up. There's a rope down the third base line, hooking foul. I'll help you in a minute. I'll give it to you. Ball comes back in. Mueller at the plate. In the dirt. Nice save once again by the catcher. Back to the second baseman. Smith is there. Underhands it to short. Fielder's choice, and down go the Saints. We'll be back in just a moment. Keep it here on the AQ Network. New pitcher on the hill here for the Saints, replacing Moore. It looks like it will be Lubbers. First pitch is a strike. And now it looks like we have a pinch hitter as well. So let me get all these caught up. Hot shot grounder to the shortstop. Bennett has it, throws, gets him. That was a good piece of hitting there by Hegenberg, but a fine fielding play by Bennett. He's out 6-3 if you're keeping score at home. And there's a blast into center field. Second baseman goes back, gives way to the center fielder who makes the catch as Hampton is out. Again, the wind played havoc, and the fielders having fun with every pop-up right now is an adventure. We are in a wind tunnel. So 2 up, 2 down. That is going to leave it up to Schwab, the catcher. Swing and a miss on the first pitch from Lubbers. Top half of the 6th inning. This is game 1 of 2. This is a 7-inning game. Remember, the second one is a 9-inning game. Fastball off the plate. One ball, one strike, one out here. Gets away from the catcher. Swing and a miss. And down he goes. That will leave it up to Dean, the right fielder. He doubled his last time up. First pitch is fouled down the right field line. Long run for Pop. He lays out for it. But he didn't really have a snowball chance of purgatory on that one. So it's just a long, loud strike. There's the balls back in play. 2 outs, runner at first. Nice play there by Schmuckel. We have actually seen all 3 catchers. The Saints have used 2. The Wolverines have used 1. They've all done a really good job at the backstop, stopping balls from getting by him in the dirt. Here comes the 1-1 offering. Another slider down and away. 2-1 now. 2-13-1 for U of M Dearborn. 17-20-2 for AQ. Next pitch. Grounder back up the box. What a play! Oh, he actually he had more time. He tried to get too fancy. That's going to be an infield hit. But a nice play to get to it for Bennett. But I think he didn't realize how much time he still had to get the force out. So that's going to bring up number 16, the second baseman, Lane Smith. Smith walked his last time up, flied out to center in his first at bat. 2 outs, top of the 6th. Overforced that one a little bit from the pitcher, Lubbers. That's down and away for a ball. Peers in to Schmuckel, gets the sign. Lubbers looks to second, now brings it home. The same pitch, deja vu all over again. He's forcing it. He is literally forcing the throw as opposed to pitching. You just got to take a breath, breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth, and play catch with a catcher. 2 balls, no strikes, 2 outs. Here comes the next offering. Right down the middle for a called strike. Maybe he heard me say that, and no chance. 2 balls and a strike, 2 outs. Pretty good lead at second base for Hampton. Dean with a modest lead over at first. Here comes the 2-1. Ooh, that one tailed inside and up. Ducking out of the way at it was Smith. He looked over at the umpires and what happened? Now the count is definitely in his favor, 3-1. The next offering, swing and a miss. That was just fire versus fire. He gave it to him, said, here it comes. I'm throwing you a fastball. Middle, middle. If you hit it, you win it. Now the count's as full as it's going to get. Both runners will be going on the pitch. Lubbers peers in for the sign. Here comes the payoff offering. Ground ball hard to the third base. It's about 3 foot foul. And as they say, we'll do it all over again. Both Hampton and Dion look down at their teammate Smith and say, come on, I don't want to do any more sprints. If you're going to hit it, it's got to go fair. Here comes the payoff pitch once again. Pops it up. Now that is going to be a lot of trouble. Bennett, though, calls for it. It's coming back, tails away, but he makes the catch, and down go the Wolverines in their half of the sixth. Get a couple on, can't score them. We've played 5.5, 17-2, Saints on top. We'll be back. Keep it here. Another pinch hitter here into the game for the Saints. Now it is going to be Paquette's turn. Ethan Paquette, wearing number 30, the right-hander, with his first plate appearance of the day. Swing and a miss. Oh, he was trying to see if he could hit one up to Big Rapids on that swing. Oh, 2 pitch, little nubbler. Just stays alive. The dugout's getting into this one. They are really cheering him on up there at the plate. Now waits for the next offering from Little. Here it comes. Breaking ball, strike 3 call. That one come back, and really he stood there with nothing he could do about it. He goes down on strikes, 1 out in the Saints half of the 6th inning. Another pinch hitter. Now it. Gregory in the game now. He'll be taking his first swing. Grounder to short. Hampton has it. Steps, throws, gets him by a couple of steps. Two outs now here, bottom of the 6th inning. First pitch. Kalahar, the pitcher, is going to get an opportunity to swing the stick. And they are really, really heckling from the bully. 1-1 offering coming up here. Reach around, pick that one up, throw it back in the pocket. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Little gets the sign from Schwab. Lost the handle on that one. He really pulled that one down and away. That'll bring the count full. Kalahar steps out briefly, now gets back into the box. Circles the toothpick, waits for the pitch. Swing and a miss, down he goes, and so do the Saints. 1-2-3 for the Saints in their half of the 6th inning. We go to the 7th, 17-2. Keep it here on the AQ Network. All right, to the 7th inning. Last chance here for the Wolverines in game number 1. They need a lot of offense here. It is going to be leading off Alex Schmidt, the center fielder. He takes a pitch just off the plate for a ball. New pitcher in the game now for the Saints, wearing number 35. It is Brendan Birch, the lefties. Next pitch takes a little off of it. Hot shot to short. Bennett, long stretch throw, gets him. 6-3 for out number 1. Had a chance to talk to several people here during the game, and, you know, the usually sure-handed of Ramsey Bousseau has not really missed a beat with Bennett at shortstop here today. He's looked good, taking over for him after the 3rd inning. Alos, if you remember Alos's last time up, he tripled. And this time he hits it back up the middle for a base hit. his second hit of the game. Now the infield will go into double play depth. Let's see where they have the third baseman. Shearer back into the game, playing the hot corner as Torres gets set for his second at bat. He got hit by a pitch his first time. They're going to hold on Alos at first. Pop is with Scherer even with the bag. Ground ball, and that's going to get in the hole. And now back-to-back singles. Runners at first and second, only one out. The fans are going crazy right now on the Wolverine side of the field. They're sniffing a big comeback here. Hey, you know what? I've seen crazier things happen. So the DH Stevenson up now, waits on the first pitch. Nifty curveball, catches the corner for a strike. Stevenson has lined out to the shortstop, ground out to third. Last time up, he hit a monster pop-up to center field. First and second, one down. Birch on the mound. Here's the pitch. Fouls that one into the netting. And now ahead in the count, 0-2. Pretty good lead. They're no longer holding Torres on over at first base. Pop is kind of backed up a little bit. Hot shot. There's another CNI single. They're going to hold him at third. The sacks are full now. And so 3 straight singles have put the bags full. And that's going to bring up Hegenberg. Hegenberg, the third baseman now, he took over back in the first pitch. Curveball up and away. A little bit of activity, not really huge yet in the Saints bully. They're pretty much leaving this one to Birch for now. 1-0 pitch. Hot shot down the third base line. Foul. That'll even the count at 1-1. We will pause for about 30 minutes between the first and the second game. So it looks like the second game will be starting sometime around 4:30. Here's the pitch. Curveball in the dirt. Nice save. 2-1. They say the last 2 outs in a 15-run game are always the hardest. Fastball low and in. That brings it to 3-1. I suspect we'll have a conversation from somebody coming out of the dugout, should he walk him. Which is what he did. Bases loaded walk. That'll be a ribeye for Hegenberg. BB, RBI. Everybody moves up 90 feet. Allo scores. And with 1 out, 1 in now, the bases are still full. And it is the shortstop, Hampton, at the plate. Curveball breaks in on him. Really, the bite came after it got past the plate. So it's just a 1 ball. It looked a little bit more dangerous from this angle. Waiting for the next offering. Ball 2. And all of a sudden, Birch is struggling to hit the mitt. And here comes the timeout I was waiting for. Out to the mound to have a conversation with him. Saying, you're up by 2 touchdowns. Throw a strike. If he hits a grand slam, so be it. with 1 out here in the top of the 7th inning. Digging back in is Hampton. Hampton on the day struck out twice, singled his last time up. Here comes the offering. Pops it up. Infield fly rule's already been called. The batter's out. But it's caught anyway by Bennett for out number 2. That's going to leave it up to the catcher, Bryce Schwab. Schwab looking for his first hit on the day. Lined out to short, flied out to right, struck out his last swing in the last time up. But he's got the sacks full with 2 outs here in the 7th. First pitch, curveball, catches the outside corner at the letters for a called strike. Schwab is looking right now for that 14-run homer. Here's the pitch, curveball. Spins up there, didn't really break a lot on that one. That'll even the count at 1-1. Birch glares in. Schmuckel flashes him the signs. Now he looks at second. Here's the pitch. Grounder back up the middle, but a good play by the second baseman. Scoop to second. They got him. What a play. 4-6 to end the game. And that will do it. The Saints win the first game 17-3. We'll be back in about 30 minutes, folks. Keep it here on the AQ Network. All right, looks like we're ready to start game 2. These two teams will go at it again. If you joined us late, 17-3. First pitch. Mitchelson on the mound here for the Saints. Forces that one down and away for ball 1. Now I have to go back and... There's a ground ball to second. LeMange gets it on a couple hops. Tosses it to first for the first out. 1 up, 1 down. Alice is retired. First pitch catches the corner for a strike. Next offering, fastball inside. That'll even the count at 1-1. Top half of the first game, number 2, as it is U of M Dearborn versus the Saints of Aquinas College. Thanks for joining us here. It is Good Friday, and we're glad to have you along. Hot shot up the middle, but it's a 2-hopper to Bousseau, who fires him out. That was an absolute missile off the bat, but a fine play, and out number 2, 2 up, 2 down. And a ground ball. The first, what a play! The pitcher covering, and it's 3 excellent defensive plays by the Saints to retire the Wolverines in their half of the first inning. 3 up, 3 down, no kidding around. We go to the bottom of the first, no score. Here we go for the Saints. First pitch up and in to Bousseau. Bousseau only played the first 3 innings of game 1. Back in at short. Pops this one up. First baseman Corona in foul territory, waits for it, and puts it away for out number 1. That'll bring up Weiner. First pitch, fastball catches the outside corner. Slider on the inside part just off the plate. That'll even the count, 1-1. Ball 2. Two one offering. Fastball up and away, 3-1. Hitters count now for Weinert, the first baseman here for the Saints. Bottom half of the first inning. Saints won the first game 17-3. But takes ball 4. And a 1-out walk. It's a little bit disappointing. It was supposed to be over 70 here today. We just have not gotten that heat. Oh, that's going to get by the catcher. That's going to be a pass ball. Now you got a runner at second. 1 out only for the Saints. They scored 4 in the first in game 1. That could have been a balk. Oh, that was close. Looks over to second. DeShane has it. Here's the pitch. Ground ball fouled down the third base line. That'll even the count at 1-1. And there's a rumor going around the concourse that there has been a Mike Ingram spotting. And oh my goodness, I can get confirmation on that. The legend is in the house. Confirmation has been done. There's a rope into left field. On his horse is the left fielder. It's over his head and to the wall. Rounding third, coming home, standing up at second with a stand-up double is Win. And that gets away from him. Now the throw to third. So that's going to be a double. An RBI. All right, 1 out now for the Saints. They're on the board early. Back-to-back doubles. Little bunt. Nobody covering the bag. Second baseman gets over there. They call him out. Oh, buddy, baby. I don't think Robinson is going to agree with that one. It will be an RBI and a sac bunt, but, man, I thought he had the infield single. Fouls the first pitch away. Nobody on, 2 out. 2 in here for the Saints. Takes one in the dirt. Waits for the next offering. Pops that one up in foul territory. Third baseman goes after it. He's lost it, and it's going to bounce in between him and Clever, the second baseman. And that'll just be a no play. But, oh, baby, remember that one. We have seen what happens when there was an opportunity to get that out. Doesn't happen. Now it's going to be a second chance for Grant Martin. Martin, the right-hander, digs back in, waits. DeShane gets the sign. Here's the pitch. Curveball doesn't bend enough. Ball 2. 2-2 with 2. Nobody on, 2 outs. Blast that one down the first base line. Foul. First baseman comes over. He's got a beat on it, and he puts it away for the third out. Saints score a pair. We've played 1-2 zip AQ. Hot shot up the middle. That'll be through for a base hit. Leadoff single for Stevenson, the DH. That's going to bring up, for the first time today, we've seen number 35, Corona will be batting now. With a runner at first, nobody out. Mitchelson still on the hill. Here comes the pitch. Catches the outside corner for a called strike. Ground ball through for a base hit. Oh, man. That was one gets back in quickly. So back-to-back singles. That was one where I think Weiner thought LeMange had it, and he went to the bag, but I think he could have gotten that one. So now 2 on and nobody out. And that'll bring up the right fielder, Dean. Mitchelson gets the sign from Snelling. Shows bunt, pulls it back. It's a ball up and away. Next pitch shows bunt. Bunts it to first. It's caught, but there he can't. What a diving play by Weiner. And that will force both runners to stay where they are. So now 1 down. That'll bring up the shortstop, Clever. Clever, the left-hander, faces the right-hander Mitchelson. Here comes the first offering. Fouls that one, and oh, that actually got in the pavilion, just past the netting. Ricochets around here. Holy boy, that was a combination pinball firecracker. Heading the count 0-1 as Clever waits. Mitchelson delivers. Strike call, catches it on the letter side of the outside corner, and that will put Caleb ahead in the count. No balls, 2 strikes. Gets back in the boxes, Clever. Slightly open stance. Waits for the 0-2 pitch. Here it comes. Strike call. No, just off the plate. Oh, I was already ringing him up, but the home plate umpire said, hold the phone. Looks like we've got the scoreboard working again, so we'll get that back in the broadcast. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out, 2 on. Waiting for the pitch. Here it comes. That one's off the plate. That'll even the count at 2-2. So a good job working this one back into play is Clever. Now Mitchelson glares in at Snelling, gets the sign. Here it comes. Another one off the plate. Now he's put himself in a bit of a pickle here, as it is now a payoff pitch with 2 runners on, only 1 out. He was ahead in the count, 0-2, and started nibbling. The closest was that 1-2 pitch. Now it's a payoff pitch, and he fouls it away. That might have been ball 4. And for the second time in this at bat, it gets around the netting and almost takes out a baby. Okay, so it's a full count once again. Glares in for the sign. Payoff pitch. Fouls another one away. This one's going to head up towards the parking lot, bounce back down the hill. And it's deja vu all over again. We'll do it again. 3-2. Clever has definitely done a good job of getting the pitch count up on Mitchelson. There goes the runner. Strikeout, throw to third. Double play. It is the swing and a miss strikeout. 2-5 caught stealing. No soup for you. Thanks for coming. The Wolverines are done in their half of the second. They get a couple of hits, but strand 1. We've played 1.5. 2-zip AQ. We go to the bottom half of the second inning. Saints on top 2-zip. Here's the first pitch to Lacrosse. He takes a breaking ball, catches the inside corner for a strike. Lacrosse, the center fielder for the Saints, grounds one hard to third. That's going to be about a 1.5 foot foul. And that'll put Deshane ahead in the count, 0-2. Steps out, gets his composure, now digs back in. Grounds it hard to the short, backhands it, long throw. He got him by about a quarter of a step, and it is 1 up, 1 down for the Saints in their half of the second. First pitch, spins him out of the way, just missed. Nice job there by Snelling to avoid getting hit on that one. Waits for the next pitch. This one's low. 2 balls and no strikes for the catcher, Logan Snelling. Breaking ball comes, hooks over the plate for a called strike. 2-1, 1 out, bottom of the second inning. Deshane's pitch, blasted into left center field, tailing, and it's going to get by the center fielder all the way to the wall. Let's see the wheels here. He rounds second, and he's going to hold up with a long double to left center for the catcher. Graves will go in as the courtesy runner at second with 1 out. Shearer up now, his first at bat of the second game. Takes a strike at the knees. Here comes the next pitch. Grounder through the hole between short and third. And that'll be a 1 out single, put runners at the corners. As you can see here in the video, we already have the lights on. It's only a couple minutes before 5 o'clock. Ground ball to second. He's only going to have one play. Throw to first gets him, but that'll be a productive out there for LeMange as that will cross Graves. Back to the top of the order we go. Bousseau waits for the first offering. Instead, Deshane's going to step off and look Shearer back at second. There's a blast into left center field. Will this get down? It will, all the way to the wall. Scoring on the play will be Shearer. And past second, he's going for third. This one could be close. He slides in with a triple. A 2-out triple for Bousseau, and the Saints now up by 4. Weinert, who walked and scored in his first appearance, digs back in, takes a first pitch for a ball. Here's the next. Swing and a miss. The count now even at 1-1. Saints already with 4 on the scoreboard. In the dirt, nice play once again there by the backstop. Fouls one back right our way. Thank goodness for the netting. That'll even the count at 2-2. The Saints with just one more hit than the Wolverines, but they have pushed 4 across the plate. Swing and a miss. Down he goes, and so do the Saints. They pick up 2 more runs, though. The big hit being the triple by Bousseau. We go to the third. 4-zip AQ. UM-Dearborn set to bat here in their half of the third inning. They got some work to do. They trail 4-zip. Joey Sutherland with you here, the Director of Athletic Communications for Aquinas College. Thank you for joining us here on the AQ Saints YouTube network. Mitchelson still on the hill for the Saints. It'll be 8-9-1 for the Wolverines. Hot shot down the third baseline, foul. Digging back in. Nifty pitch, called strike. Looked like a changeup there. Now well ahead in the count. Strike 3 call. Fastball catches the outside corner, and down goes Grunenwald for out number 1. Back-to-back strikeouts now for Mitchelson. It's going to bring it up to Alex Schmidt, the center fielder. His first at bat here. Blast one back, hits the netting, and comes down. Caden Gregory goes and picks that one up. He'll bring it back into the dugout. Now Mitchelson gets a new pill and a sign from Snelling. Inside, just about hit him. In fact, it did. That was a breaking ball that forgot to break. And with that, we'll have a runner at first and 1 out. And bring up the top of the order. Allos grounded out sharply to second his first time up. Takes one inside, gets away from the catcher, going down to second. And they got him. 2-6 it'll be scored as. That's one of the quirky rules for official scorers. Oversliding the bag is still a caught stealing. So now with Snelling gunning him down on the play, 2 outs, right down the middle, even the counts at 1-1. One offering coming up here. Just gets off the plate for ball 2. Two balls, 1 strike, 2 outs, top half of the 3rd inning. Fastball catches the corner. That'll even the count at 2-2. Mitchelson potentially 1 pitch away here. Pops it foul out of play. Two balls, 2 strikes. 2 down. Top half of the 3rd. Ground ball back up the middle. Bousseau has it. Going to have to hurry. Throws to first. Got him by 2 steps, and down go the Wolverines with 3 up, 3 down. We will head now to the bottom half of the 3rd. Saints on top by 4. Aquinas comes to bat in their half of the 3rd inning on top 4 zip. It's going to be Dylan Wynn. He doubled his last time up, takes a breaking ball just up a tick, ball 1. He doubled and scored, had an RBI to boot. Now he hits a rope into left field for a base hit. CNI single between the shortstop and the 3rd baseman. A leadoff single for Wynn. That'll bring up Chase Robinson. Robinson was thought to have an infield single on a sac bunt attempt. Was called out on a bang-bang play his first time up. No official at bat, but he does have an RBI. Takes that one for a strike. With Wynn over at first base, nobody out, top or bottom of the 3rd. There goes the runner. The catcher cannot. He tried to throw before he caught it, so it'll be a stolen base for Wynn. Now a chance for Robinson to get a ribby. Causing all sorts of problems for the pitcher. Takes one just up and in. Ball 2. You can see Wynn is messing right now with his dance off second. It is affecting the rhythm right now of DeShane on the hill. Not paying enough attention to Robinson, who pops one up into shallow left field. Center fielder calls for it. He puts it away. Nice job there by Schmidt of taking control. Martin waits for the first offering from DeShane. Potentially a pickoff play on. And a balk is called. And everybody saw it, myself included. And this time the pitcher, DeShane, is blaming his catcher. So now, runner at third with only one out. Swing and a miss. Martin took a cut, a big-time uppercut there. Waits for the next offering from DeShane. Pops this one foul down the first baseline. Backing up, and it will be a man from Kent City. We'll take that one home as a souvenir. In deference to the late, great Ernie Harwell. 1 ball, 2 strikes. There's a rope into left field. The left fielder goes for it. It gets by him all the way to the wall. That will score Wynn. And standing up on second is Martin. All right, after a conference at the mound, it's now going to be Lacrosse with a runner at second and only one out. Takes a fastball in the outside corner for a called strike. Lacrosse grounded out on a bang-bang play to the shortstop his first time up. Martin, who just doubled, is at second with only one out. Luke Lacrosse waits for the pitch from DeShane. Foul tips it behind home plate. Behind in the count now, 0-2. Never leaving the batter's box is Lacrosse. He sits and waits, digs in. DeShane now gets the sign. Low and away is the call, 1-2. Granitstein behind the plate. Flashes the signals now to DeShane. Martin with a lead forces DeShane to step off the hill and the rubber. Next offering, ground ball to the shortstop. He gobbles it up, throws to first, gets him by a half a step once again. That's 2 times. That'll leave it up to Logan Snelling, the catcher for the Saints, with a runner at third and 2 outs. He ropes one. That's going to drop down for a base hit. His second hit of the game, and another ribeye there for Snelling. The Saints now on top by 6. Stolen base there for Graves. Courtesy running again. Fouls it away as Shearer is behind in the count, 1-2. Dawson, who singled and scored his first time up. In the dirt. That'll leave in the count at 2-2. There's a little looper into shallow left field, but the left fielder comes in to make the catch for the third out. The Saints pick up 2 more. They're on top 6-zip. Keep it here on the AQ Network. Here we go to the 4th inning. Saints on top 6-zip. In game number 2, if you joined us late, Aquinas won the first game 17-3. Looking for a doubleheader sweep here on Good Friday. First pitch is a little nubbler foul. Granitstein, the catcher, is the leadoff hitter. Looks like another inning on the mound here for Mitchelson. Fastball just in and a tad low. 0-2-0 for the Wolverines, 6-7-0 for the Saints. There's a rope over the outstretched glove of Shear into left field. Mishandled a little bit by Wynn, but it's still going to just be a leadoff single for Granitstein. So that is the third inning in a row for a base runner. A courtesy runner going to come in. That is 28. Let's get that courtesy runner in there. Swaney. First pitch. Swing and a miss. That was one of the filthier pitches we've seen here today from Mitchelson. Thank you for joining us. I am here at the West Michigan Sports Commission field on the Myers Sports Complex. In the dirt, nice save there. Snelling does a good job of keeping that in front of him as the count goes even at 1-1. Glaring over at Swaney at first. Mitchelson now gets the signal from Snelling. Fastball off the outside corner, or maybe a tick low. 2-1. Staying in the box is Neldberg. Hot shot through in the hole between the first baseman holding him on and the second baseman. So it is first and second with nobody out here for the Wolverines with a couple of leadoff singles, which is eerily familiar to the second inning when they did the same thing. In fact, the man who started it, Stevenson, the DH, is up now. So Stevenson, who singled, but he was gunned down, stealing third to end the inning on the strikeout, throwout double play. Now has runners at first and second, nobody out. Waits the first pitch, grounds it to third. He's going to touch third for one, fires to first. What a break for the Saints. The 5-3 GDP. On the play, Nelberg will take second base, but that is just what the doctor ordered. So with two outs now, a pop-up. That one I think is going to get out of play, but the Saints go after it. Gave it all the effort. Shearer almost made another great play. He was flashing the leather on the previous play and almost made a circus catch there. He's a little slow getting up, heading back to first. I'd say he'd have a lot of time to get over it, but the Saints are back in action tomorrow. If you're joining us expecting the Saints to be on the road tomorrow at Defiance, instead that game has been moved here to Rockford. It will be a home game now for the Saints, and it will begin at 3:30 tomorrow here. It will not be streamed tomorrow, unfortunately. Next pitch is up a tick. We got all sorts of public service people out and a route and now asking for timeout, and I would too. They're in the backdrop. You see those flashing lights. I'm having an epileptic seizure. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, runner at second base for the Wolverines. Mitchelson gets the sign, swing and a miss. Took a little off that one. That was a filthy pitch. Heading the count 1-2. Corona digs back in. The first baseman waits. Here comes the pitch from Mitchelson. Swing and a miss, down he goes, and so do the Wolverines. They get a pair of singles to start, unable to capitalize. Saints on top 6-zip. All right, the Saints getting ready to bat in their half of the 4th inning on top 6-zip. The clouds have never really left today, although the rains avoided us through the first game and a half here. Although there is a strong line of showers and thunder showers that's about 40 minutes away. We could have thunderstorms, tornadoes, lightning. There might even be a volcano. You never know. 2-0 pitch coming up here to LeMange. He takes ball 3. JT grounded out to second his first time up. Because this is a 9-inning game, there has to be 5 at-bats for the Wolverines to make it official. There's a strike. The 3-0 pitch catches the outside corner. 3-1 is the count now. Here comes the pitch. Ball 4. Ooh, that was bang bang. So with a runner at first now, nobody out. That's going to bring up the top of the order. Bousseau, who tripled his last time up, takes a breaking ball out and away for ball 1. LeMange hanging out over at first base. Glaring in to get the sign. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Way away from the catcher. And it's now 2-0. Inside, ball 2. And that is a strike. It is really getting dark here, folks. And that's ball 4. As it has one play, throws to first. They get him out. The runners advance. That'll score 2 more Saints. So a fine piece of hitting goes up the middle. 2 runs knocked in. Here comes the next pitch. In the dirt. Bottom of the 4th inning. It is a very crazy scoreboard. 2 runs for the Saints in all 4 of their innings. The scoreboard looks like it's a mistake. Hot shot to second, could be 2. To second for 1, relay to first. They got him. The 6-4-3 pitcher's best friend. Down go the Saints in their half of the 4th. They pick up 2 runs. They're on top 8-zip. We got to hustle before the thunderstorms come. Keep it here on the AQ Network. We go to the 5th inning. We need 3 outs to make this game official. And I have a feeling we're going to see a mad exodus here shortly as the radar shows a plethora of a line of thunderstorms about to come through. And I'm loving it. I'm with all this electrical equipment right here out in the middle. First pitch is fouled down the right field line. I beg your pardon, second pitch. Ahead in the count. New pitcher here in the game for the Saints. That will be coming on. Number 29, Caden Gregory. He's now on the hill, replacing Mitchelson, who did a fine job. Went the first 4. Strike three call. He stood there like a house by the side of the road. Watch that one go by. Dion goes down, caught looking for out number one. That is going to bring up number 40, the shortstop in the second game here for the Wolverines. Clever is up. He waits for the first offering from Gregory. Fastball off the outside of the plate for a ball. Pounded into the ground, down towards first base, but foul. That'll even the count at 1-1. One out, okay. All right, 1 ball, 1 strike, regardless of the scoreboard. Trust me, there's only 1 out. Fastball in the dirt, ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. Top half of the 5th inning, Wolverines. It is the number 7 man in the batting order, Clever. Pounds one down the third baseline, going foul, and it'll be a quarter of the way up the hill for a long strike. Now the count's even, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Joey Sutherland here with you. Thank you for joining us on the AQ Network. I'm the Director of Athletic Communications for the Saints. It's a pleasure to bring you the action. Breaking ball, called strike 3, froze him solid for out number 2. Back-to-back strikeouts looking. 2 up, 2 down for Dearborn in their half of the 5th. That's going to leave it up to Grunenwald, the second baseman. Peers in, gets the sign. Fastball just off the plate, ball 1. Struck out looking his last time up. This is only his second at bat here in game 2. Fastball catches the inside corner. That'll even the count as a gust of wind absolutely is moving my equipment now. I got to hold on to the table. And I'm a big fella. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Pulled the string on that one, took a little off of it, and now it's Gregory way ahead in the count, 1-2. Gets back in. Gregory gets a sign from Snelling. Swing and a miss. Down he goes. The catcher's going to have to throw him out, and he does. K swinging 2-3. Down go the Wolverines in the 5th. Saints come to bat here in their half of the fifth inning. They are on top 8-0. Thanks for joining us here on the AQ Network. First batter here, it's going to be Martin. Martin pops one up down the first base line. Second baseman coming over, having problems with it. The right fielder, though, makes a basket catch. A fine play there by Dean to get the first out. That's going to, with one out, swing and a miss there for Lacrosse. Uh-oh. I hear the thunder. But the officials didn't, so we'll play on. Breaking ball catches the inside corner, called strike two. Lacrosse on the game is grounded out twice to the shortstop. The center fielder for the Saints waits for the pitch from Smith. Here it comes. Pulls that one away. That'll bring the count to 1-2. The Saints have scored 2 runs in the first, second, third, and fourth innings for this 8-0 lead. It's a combined shutout right now. There's a blast into right center field. That's going to drop in for a base hit for Lacrosse. That looked a lot harder than it was, but it found the gap. Here comes the next offering. It is a ball that'll even the count at 1-1. 1 out, 1 on for the Saints. Here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Snelling waits. Smith delivers, breaking ball away. That'll bring the count to 2-1. Two and 1 is our count. Foul tips it right back this way. That'll even the count at 2-2. Now, just when I thought we were at the the apex of the thunderstorm, now the sun trying to peek through. I mean, it's still completely cloudy, but it's a lot brighter than it was 10 minutes ago. As Smith looks in, gets the sign. Here's the 2-2. And it hits him, and that's going to put Snelling on first base. Moving Lacrosse down to second. So now the Saints have runners at first and second with only 1 out. That is the third time the catcher Snelling has reached base today. And once again, he'll be replaced with his courtesy runner. Graves is now down at first base. Scherer, who was singled and scored back in the first flight out to left his last time up. Behind in the count, 0-1. Waits for the pitch from Smith. Here it comes. Swing and a miss. Big breaking ball. Unable to get onto that one was Scherer. And now he's down 0-2. The Saints have scored 8 runs on 9 hits. The Wolverines are no runs on 4 hits. Neither team has made an error here in the nightcap. Pickoff play to second. Nearly throws it away. Nice play there by the second baseman to keep that one from allowing Lacrosse to get to third. The count remains no balls and 2 strikes. Shearer digs back in, the third baseman waits. Breaking ball down and away. A nice play there by the catcher to keep it from advancing both runners. Peering in to get the sign from the catcher. Smith's offering is another one down and away. That'll even the count 2-2. And if you joined us late for the first game, the 17-3 game, of the 20 runs, 17 of the 20 runs came for the two teams with 2 outs. That is just crazy. There's a little pop-up back this way, and I could have made the catch if it wasn't for the overhang in the netting. But maybe it's best that I didn't show my hands or lack thereof, as the count now remains 2-2. Digging back in is Shearer. Smith gets a new pill. Now he gets the sign. Here's the 2-2 pitch. In the dirt, nice stop once again, and the count now has been run full, 3-2. Lacrosse reached on a single. Snelling was hit. He was replaced by Graves' courtesy runner, and so we have runners at first and second, 1 out. Here comes the payoff pitch. Ground ball to third. This could be 2. Oh, he double picked it, and now he doesn't have anything. Oh, my goodness gracious, great balls of fire. That'll be a fielder's choice. Now the sacks are full for the Saints with just 1 out, and that brings up the second baseman, JT LeMange. Takes the first one, a breaking ball in and low. And we're going to have a courtesy runner now, or a pinch runner. Looks like going in for Shearer, it's going to be Monroe. Eight zip is the score. 1 out in the bottom of the 5th inning. Saints looking to tack on. There's a ground ball to the first baseman. He's going to throw to the pitcher who covers and does a fine play to get there ahead of LeMange for the putout. But that'll be a ribeye for LeMange. So now the Saints have runners at second and third with 2 outs. That's going to leave it up to Bousseau, who has walked and tripled. Now he's heading the count 2-0. Nine zip now, Saints on top. Strike call that catches the letters right down the center cut. That'll bring the count to 2-1. You can see from the screen, folks, that is a dark sky. 2-1 offering to the shortstop. Lays off that one that was down and away. Now the count's 3-1. They do have a pillow to give if they choose to walk Bousseau, but then you're out of the frying pan into the fryer with Weiner waiting on deck. Here comes the 3-1 offering. Ropes it down the right field line, but out of play, foul, as another gust of wind picks up. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The bases are actually, the runners are at second and third here for Aquinas, and they're half of the 5th inning. Smith gets the sign. Here's the pitch, and it almost hit him, ball 4. Once again, the bases are loaded with Saints. making a trip to the mound here. And I think Matt McWilliams comes out. He wants to show the official. This could be. And there it is, folks. We are going to have a delay, which might be the completion of the game here, as there is lightning within 5 miles. By conference rule, players have to head back to the bus or into shelter, which is what I will be doing as well. So this game is in a pause. It is technically official, but well, folks, that's going to wrap up the stream today. I'm not going to stream any further, even if the game comes back to play. We're going to wrap it up. Okay. Yeah, I'm on the fence. I think I'm still going to wrap up my stream, folks. So you can check out live streaming. I'll still keep the live stats going, but we are going to wrap this part up of the stream. We want to thank you for watching. We will remind everybody we'll be back in action tomorrow. I'll be doing the Aquinas women's softball game. It'll be senior afternoon from the Gainey Complex. We go on the air at actually the first pitch is 1 o'clock. We'll go on the air at 12:45. I want to wish you and your family, if you do not tune in, the happiest of Easters. That's going to wrap it up here from Rockford. Until next time, thanks for watching, everybody. God bless and